The term face idiomatically refers to one's own sense of dignity or prestige in social contexts. In the English-speaking world, the expression "to save face" describes the lengths that an individual may go to in order to preserve their established position in society, taking action to ensure that one is not thought badly of by his or her peers. It is a fundamental concept in the fields of sociology, sociolinguistics, semantics, politeness theory, psychology, political science, communication, and face negotiation theory, and translates at least somewhat equivalently into many world languages, both Germanic and otherwise. Definitions. Although Linutard claimed face cannot be translated or defined, compare these definitions. The term face may be defined as the positive social value a person effectively claims for himself or herself by the line others assume he or she has taken during a particular contact. Face is an image of self delineated in terms of approved social attributes. Face is the respectability and/or deference which a person can claim for himself or herself from others, by virtue of the relative position he or she occupies in his or her social network and the degree to which he or she is judged to have functioned adequately in that position as well as acceptably in his or her general conduct, is something that is emotionally invested, and that can be lost, maintained, or enhanced, and must be constantly attended to in interaction. In general, people cooperate in maintaining face in interaction, such cooperation being based on the mutual vulnerability of face. Face is a sense of worth that comes from knowing one's status and reflecting concern with the congruency between one's performance or appearance and one's real worth. Face means sociodynamic valuation, a lexical hyponym of words meaning prestige, dignity, honor, respect, status. Face has more meaning based on Chinese culture context. Terminology. The concept of face is, of course, Chinese in origin, yet many languages have face terms that metaphorically mean prestige, honor, reputation. Marcel Mauss, who sociologically studied the Kwakwaka'wakw and Haida nations in British Columbia, interpreted the Kwakewala word Kuelsum meaning stingy potlatch giver, one who gives no feast. Kwakirtle and Haida noblemen have the same notion of face as the Chinese mandarin or officer. It is said of one of the great mythical chiefs who gave no feast that he had a rotten face. The expression is more apt than it is even in China, for to lose one's face is to lose one's spirit, which is truly the face, the dancing mask, the right to incarnate a spirit and wear an emblem, a totem. It is the veritable persona which is at stake, and it can be lost in the potlatch just as it can be lost in the game of gift-giving in war, or through some error in ritual. Michael Carr lexicographically investigated face prestige dictionary forms in Chinese, Japanese, and English. Within this sample, Chinese dictionaries include 98 forms, e.g., Sipolyan, have no consideration for someone's feelings. Japanese dictionaries list 89, e.g., Kaoru, become popular, gain influence, and English dictionaries include 5 forms, e.g., lose face. Carr found that the Chinese and Japanese lexicons have roughly equal numbers of words for losing face and saving face, while English has more for saving face. Chinese and two influential Chinese authors explained face, lose referred to the missionary Arthur Henderson Smith's interpretation. The term face keeps cropping up in our conversation, and it seems such a simple expression that I doubt whether many people give it much thought. Recently, however, we have heard this word on the lips of foreigners too, who seem to be studying it. They find it extremely hard to understand. but believe that face is the key to the Chinese spirit and that grasping it will be like grabbing a cue 24 years ago. Everything else will follow. Lin Yutang considered the psychology of face interesting as the Chinese physiological face is. The psychological face makes a still more fascinating study. It is not a face that can be washed or shaved, but a face that can be granted and lost and fought for and presented as a gift. Here we arrive at the most curious point of Chinese social psychology. Abstract and intangible, it is yet the most delicate standard by which Chinese social intercourse is regulated. Lin refers to Lumianzi, grant face, give a chance to regain lost honor. Ximianzi, lose face. Zhangmianzi, fight for face, keeping up with the Joneses, and Gaimianzi, give face, show respect. The Chinese language has three common words meaning face, mian, lian, zhan, dot. Mian, face, personal esteem, countenance, surface, side, occurs in words like mianzi, face, side, reputation, self-respect, prestige, honor, social standing. Mianmu, face, appearance, respect, social standing, prestige, honor. Manpi, facial skin, complexion, feelings, sensitivity, sense of shame. Timian, face, good-looking, honor, dignity, prestige. Kungmian, face, prestige, favor, kindness, partiality. Mianmu, which occurs in the Shijing, Guanzi, and other Chinese classics, is the oldest Chinese word for figurative face. David Yofei Ho describes Timian as an expression without an exact equivalent in English meaning the social front, the ostensible display of one's social standing to the public. It is both a prerogative and an implicit obligation for the socially prominent to be particular about. Mianzi is a measurable and quantifiable concept of face. Face, Xian Xin who says, can be borrowed, struggled for, added to, padded, all terms indicating a gradual increase in volume. It is built up through initial high position, wealth, power, ability, through cleverly establishing social ties to a number of prominent people, as well as through avoidance of acts that would cause unfavorable comment. Lian, face, countenance, respect, reputation, prestige is seen in several face words. Lun's hang, one's face, honor, respect. Liamian, face, self-respect, prestige, influence. Liapi, face, sensitivity, compassion. While the use of the word mian is more common outside mainland China, in China PRC, it is the word lian that is more commonly used. Who contrasts Meiyul lian, audacious, wanton, shameless, as the most severe condemnation that can be made of a person, and Buyao lian, shameless, selfishly inconsiderate, as of serious accusation meaning that ego does not care what society thinks of his character, that he is ready to obtain benefits for himself in defiance of moral standards. Note that Cantonese uses instead of. However, Chinese people generally use the term more commonly when speaking in Mandarin Chinese. Yan, face, prestige, reputation, honor, occurs in the common expression diu yan and the words Zhan hu yun, thick-skinned, brazen, shameless, impudent. Yantmian, face, honor, prestige. Chinese uses yan less often in expressing face, prestige than either mian or lian. Ka summarizes four common Chinese lexical patterns for face words. First, the lexicon antithetically modifies all three face words with hu, thick, deep, great, and bao, but thin, slight, weak to describe sensitivity to prestige. For example, manpihu, thick-skinned, shameless, and manpibao, thin-skinned, diffident. Second, owing to the importance of the visible face, can see, look meaning, have consideration for, and buheroken, not good-looking, describe face. Third, several expressions reciprocally describe you having, or may you not having, face, such as datia you mianzi, everybody has mutual honor, and may you mianzi, lacking prestige. prestige. Fourth, losing face can be expressed with the common lose verb she and the rarer diu. For instance, she mianzi and diu mianzi, lose face, lose prestige. Recent studies of Chinese face have principally accepted Hu Xianxin's original distinction between a person's mianzi, social status, and lian, moral character, who dichotomized mianzi as a reputation achieved through getting on in life, through success and ostentation, versus lian, which represents the confidence of society in the integrity of ego's moral character, the loss of which makes it impossible for him to function properly within the community. Ho qualified this dichotomy, although the distinction between the two sets of criteria for judging face, based on judgments of character and, broadly, of the amoral aspects of social performance, is justified. It cannot be anchored to a linguistic distinction between the two terms, lian and minsu, as proposed by Hu. However, we may continue to use these terms in the senses that Hu has defined, on the basis of experiments showing that Chinese high school students defined losses of mianzi and lian interchangeably, while university students distinguished them. Hu Wang Xuanfan concluded that, succinctly, among college subjects, loss of mianzi is more definitely tied to failure to measure up to one's sense of self-esteem or to what is expected by others, whereas loss of lian is closely tied to transgression of social codes. Whose 40-year-old distinction between the two Chinese concepts of faces appears to stand very well, even today. Lian is the confidence of society in a person's moral character, while mianzi represents social perceptions of a person's prestige. For a person to maintain face is important with Chinese social relations because face translates into power and influence and affects goodwill. A loss of lian would result in a loss of trust within a social network, while a loss of mianzi would likely result in a loss of authority. 2. Face-related concepts in Chinese social relations are guanxi connections, relationships, and ganking feelings. English. The English semantic field for face words meaning prestige, honor, is smaller than the corresponding Chinese field, but historical dictionaries more accurately record its history. The Oxford English Dictionary documents how the English community in China originated lose face and save face in the late 19th century, and how morphological variants like face save are subsequently developed. Lose face is a linguistic calque from Chinese Dilian lose face. The OED2 face 10 definition distinguishes meanings between native 10a, outward show, assumed or factitious appearance, disguise, pretense, an instance of this, a pretext, and borrowed, 10b, to save one's face, see save v. 8f, also to save face, to lose face, to be humiliated, lose one's credit, good name, or reputation. Similarly, loss of face. Hence face equals reputation, good name. Robert Hart originally translated lose face in a January 23, 1876 Songli Yamen Customs Memorandum, the Inspector General's memorandum concerning commercial relations. The country begins to feel that government consented to arrangements by which China has lost face. The officials have long been conscious that they are becoming ridiculous in the eyes of the people, seeing that where a foreigner is concerned they can neither enforce a Chinese right nor redress a Chinese grievance, even on Chinese soil. Loss of face occurs in the times each wishes to concede only what can be conceded without loss of face. Save face was coined from lose face, applying the semantic opposition between lose and save. OED defines save 8 to keep, protect, to guard from damage, loss, or destruction, and elaborates 8f. To save one's face, to avoid being disgraced or humiliated. Similarly, to save face. Hence save-face adjective equals face-saving, originally used by the English community in China, with reference to the continual devices among the Chinese to avoid incurring or inflicting disgrace. The exact phrase appears not to occur in Chinese but to lose face and, for the sake of his face, are common. For the earliest usage examples, the OED gives the following. Save one's face is recorded in the Westminster Gazette. Unquestionably, the process of saving one's face leads to curious results in other countries than China. Save face is found in Chambers' Journal of Literature, Science and Arts. The civilian native staff had bolted at the first sign of trouble, going to report to the authorities being their save face for it. Face-saving first appears in Enoch A. Bennett's Lillian. She had been trapped beyond any chance of a face-saving lie. Face-saver, defined as something that saved one's face, originated in Edgar Snow's Scorched Earth. As a face-saver, however, Doihara was given enough support from the Kwantung Army in Manchuria. Carr notes, it is significant that the earliest usages for English lose face, save face and face-saver refer to China, while later ones are more international in application. By expanding lose face into save face, English developed oppositely from Chinese, which has many lose face collocations, but none literally meaning save face. Lao Mianzi, eager to gain reputation, be concerned about appearances, bullshit, the closest Chinese approximation for save face. The underlying reason for this difference is that English face lacks the sociological contrast between Chinese lian and mianzi, since Chinese lian is ethically absolute while mianzi is socially quantitative. Losing the former is more significant. According to Hu Wang, the fact that Chinese lexicalizes losing face, but not gaining face, is a potent reminder that losing face has far more serious implications for one's sense of self-esteem or decency than gaining face. Ho explains how losing one's face is more socio-dynamically significant than saving it. Previous writers on face have treated losing face and gaining face simply as if they were opposite outcomes in a social encounter and have thus failed to notice the basic difference between two social processes that are involved. In the first instance, while it is meaningful to speak of both losing and gaining means, so it is meaningful to speak only of losing lian. One does not speak of gaining lian because, regardless of one's station in life, one is expected to behave in accordance with the precepts of the culture. Correctly conceptualized, exemplary conduct adds not to one's lian, but to one's means to. Losing face brings into question one's moral decency and societal adequacy, but not gaining face. The lose verb in lose face means fail to maintain, while the save in save face means avoid lost damage. The English creation of save face as the opposite of lose face was arbitrary because lose has other antonyms: win, find, keep, catch, maintain, preserve, gain, and regain. Carr notes, speakers occasionally use the last three regarding face, prestige, though less frequently than save. Another usage example is give face, which is included in the Wiktionary but not the OED too. Among the English words of Chinese origin, lose face is an uncommon verb phrase and a unique semantic loan translation. Most Anglo-Chinese borrowings are nouns, with a few exceptions such as to kowtow, to Shanghai, to brainwash, and lose face. English face meaning prestige, honor, is the only case of a Chinese semantic loan. Semantic loans extend an indigenous word's meaning in conformity with a foreign model. The vast majority of English words from Chinese are ordinary loanwords with regular phonemic adaptation. A few are calques where a borrowing is blended with native elements. Face meaning. Prestige is technically a loan synonym, owing to semantic overlap between the native English meaning, outward semblance, effrontery, and a borrowed Chinese meaning, prestige, dignity. John Law coined the term invisible exports to describe how French form ouverture and courrier borrowed the sports meanings of English form open and run. Chinese lose face is an imperceptible English import because it appears to be a predictable semantic extension of face, and not a noticeable foreign borrowing. This invisible face, prestige, status, loan, as Chan and Kwok explain, so firmly established in the English vocabulary that the average native speaker is unaware of its Chinese origin. When face acquired its Chinese sense of prestige, honor, it filled a lexical gap in the English lexicon. Chan and Kwok write, the Chinese has supplied a specific name for a thing embodying qualities not expressed or possibly not fully expressed by a number of terms in English. The aptness of the figurative extension has probably also played a part. Carr concludes, the nearest English synonyms of the apt figurative face are prestige, honor, respect, dignity, status, reputation, social acceptance, or good name. Ho explains how face is a more basic meaning than status, dignity, or honor. Prestige appears to be semantically closest to face, however a person can be said to have face but not prestige, or vice versa. Prestige is not necessary. One can easily live without it, but hardly without face. In Arabic, the expression Hafiz Amar al-Waj, which literally translates as save the face is water, is used to mean save face. In Persian, expressions like Aab ro rizi, literally losing the face as water, is used to mean save face, and dawa, rosayahi, and rosapidi are used. South Slavic. Among South Slavs, especially in Serbo-Croatian and Bulgarian, the word obraz is used as a traditional expression for honor and the sociological concept of face. Medieval Slavic documents have shown that the word has been used with various meanings, such as form, image, character, person, symbol, face, figure, statue, idol, guise and mask. The languages also have a derived adjective bezobrazan, without face, used to associate shame to a person. The Thai word for face is meaning literally face. There are basically two main ways of expressing loss of face. One translates literally as lose face. Another term, or, means sale of face. Actual connotation is that the person who lost face did so through fault of self or through the thoughtless action of another. As in China and other regions where loss of face is important, the Thai version involves socio-dynamic status.